Hey sports and health fans, Coach Frank here, and you don't have to be a bikini model or pro bodybuilder to get a lot of this episode today. So I'm bringing on a tremendous guest. She was actually the inspiration behind Dr. Ben Duke that we had on the show about getting into bodybuilding. She was the real reason why he got into that and why they did so well doing the poses and the shows and the workouts and meal plans together. They really have come a long way from just their thought of, hey, this might be fun, to actually putting it in motion and now becoming a champion bodybuilder in the bikini division of the International Federation of Bodybuilders. So am I going to recommend you become a bodybuilder? No. We're going to scale this down so that you're a champion at whatever game you play. So stay dialed in because I'm going to bring all that to you and more right after this. Let's do this.
Game on, sports, fitness, and health fans, with another episode of the Sporting Good Posture Digital Radio Experience. Gear up for Coach Frank's advice from the sidelines as he helps you crush your game, no matter what sports, health, or fitness game you play.
Hey, this is Coach Frank. I'm Sporting Good Posture. What are you sporting?
Hey, Coach, what do you got for us today?
Welcome back to another episode of Sporting Good Posture. This is Coach Frank, and do I have a dynamic guest for you today? She is the inspiration of why Dr. Ben Duke got into bodybuilding, and she got into it as well and became a champion in the bikini division. She's really the inspiration behind how that family was able to do so well and get their bodies in shape to become successful and stand up on that stage. So regardless if you're stepping on the stage or not, this episode is for you. We're going to scale it down today so that you can get a good piece of advice on what you can do to improve your health and become a champion at whatever game you play. So I'm really excited to have this guest on today because I got a lot of questions I want to ask her, and I want to make it relevant to you and make it relevant to where you see the benefits of learning about this and figuring out how you can apply this in your life so that you can become a champion at whatever game you play. And I'm going to bring all that to you and more right after this message.
Where do you carry your stress? Whether you carry it in your shoulders, hold it in your neck, or feel it in your back, it's usually not chronic, but it's always annoying. Carrying stress isn't normal at all. But how can you know for sure how the stress you carry can be hindering you? The answer is the Advanced Postural Impact Screening at Ideal Health and Wellness Center. Chiropractic studies have revealed that posture is more than just how straight you stand. It measures spinal and skeletal support of every body function. Poor posture reveals trouble areas in your basic structure, interfering with body function, leading to pain, discomfort, tension, sleep trouble, and even digestive issues and allergies. There isn't a body function that isn't potentially at risk. Dr. Margella conducts the Advanced Postural Impact Screening to trace back postural issues to their origins, which often have been accumulating over your entire life, to find the real reasons things haven't been working their best. And that means everything when you're trying to reach your ideal performance. See where the sources of the stress you carry lie and find out what you yourself can do about them. Call Ideal Health and Wellness Center at 615-567-6683 now.
So my guest today is a licensed doctor of clinical psychology in private practice and an expert literary media contributor and independent consultant in the North Shore of Chicago. A wife and mother to a 6-year-old, she also recently became a professional bodybuilding champion in the International Federation of Bodybuilding Bikini Division this year as she balances her intense training and nutrition with parenting, business, and a cross-country move. With restrictions limiting her childcare and business practice, she dove deep into the sport of bodybuilding and achieved pro athlete status in less than 2 years. So please welcome to Sporting Good Posture, Dr. Jacqueline Duke. Welcome to the show, Doc.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking the time and doing this. I know you're busy with your practice, and you got a bodybuilding event coming up in 5 or 6 weeks now?
4 to 5 weeks now.
Wow.
About 4 weeks from Saturday.
It's coming up fast.
It is. Starting to feel it.
Well, last week or the week before, we interviewed Ben, your husband, and he was talking about how you guys kind of got into this thing. It was interesting because it really was your idea to kind of get into the bodybuilding scene. Neither of you had done that before. You both had been in, had worked out and stuff, but never to this kind of level. So what was behind that?
So I did hear his podcast, and how he explained it really was how it went down. We were just sitting outside of her ballet studio. She was so young, we had to stay and wait, and we were just browsing on our phones. And after we moved up to the suburbs, we were both very athletic people, but we found that our hobbies were keeping us apart. I was a complete golf widow. So, he was doing golf and fantasy football and just hobbies like that. And then I was participating in dance classes, group fitness. And then I was also playing paddle, and women's leagues are during the day. He was playing paddle as well, it was at night. I mean, we couldn't have matched up our schedules to be apart more. Aside from the 4 times a year, they do like a couples mixer for a tournament. We're like, we both love sports. We both love being active. What's something that we could do together on the same schedule, maybe not identical because we don't exactly train together, but just to help us bond in a unique way and, still balance our lives and do something new and fun. And I don't know if it came up in a feed or someone I follow, and I said, this is kind of, would you ever want to do this? And he said, absolutely. I've actually thought about it before. So I think right away we both sought after coaches to get started right away. And once it started, it obviously escalated very quickly, and here we are.
It's not an easy thing. If people out there don't understand about what it entails to be in a show, I know it's intense. I work out, but compared to what you guys have to do, kind of go into a little bit of what it entails to truly be a pro bodybuilder, and kind of why it was best that you guys did it together rather than one or the other doing it.
Yes, there's no way we would have gone beyond the first show had we not had a household, doing it together. You really have to revolve your entire life, the structure of your day, every single thing that you do. And then when you set that higher goal of wanting to go pro, I mean, you eat, sleep, breathe, everything you do in your day revolves around competing and bodybuilding. I guess the major things would be the nutrition, which gets very complex in itself.
Yeah.
The training, and really structuring your day so that you can maximize those training sessions. And then just in general, stress mitigation, prioritizing sleep, things like that, all while trying to have a life, being a parent, having a job, running a household, dealing with the unexpected. Having those pillars in line and knowing that when it gets close to contest prep, it can be pretty stressful, and that could be the worst thing your body can react to. But if you have 2 people that are understanding of, the agitation or phase of prep you're in, there's so many different phases, and each one brings so many different challenges. So it's great that we can understand whatever phase each other is going through and kind of pick up the slack with patience with our daughter, or, running out of a certain food and knowing that how important that is, and having, different kitchen stations and everything. So much is around food and timing and just getting those meals in and whatnot, and then having the perfect sleeping conditions.
I know you both did a competition or a couple of competitions last year, right? Or 2 years ago?
Yeah, so 2020 was when we kind of set our goal, and we did a local show. We were never supposed to be in the same one. I was signed up for the Illinois and the Illinois Natural, and Illinois hasn't had one in 2.5 years. So he had always signed up for the Wisconsin ones. He needed a bit more time in his prep. So with all the Illinois ones getting canceled, it pushed me into the summer Wisconsin shows. We ended up doing the same one, and that was our first regional show. We both became nationally qualified, meaning we came in first or second in the open classes. So we set the goal of going to nationals. So then in 2021, I did a warm-up show just so I could get an overall under my belt. I did that in Pittsburgh, and then we were all set up to do Pittsburgh Nationals, and we said, let's do another one 4 weeks earlier. So we were all set to do Universe and Masters this summer. And we both won. We became pros. We did the same pro show. We got first call outs in our first pro show. So then we've spent the entire fall and winter, doing a whole new building season to step on that pro stage for 2022. And as you know, we're moving to Florida. And
yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. We wanted to get one show under our belt, or one full cycle of prep, an off season and a prep to get us going before the move.
Well, that's a huge undertaking, and to actually qualify to be a pro that quick is rare. I know some people that have been doing bodybuilding for 5, 10, 15 years that don't always even get their pro card. So I really commend you guys on really sticking to it like that and getting the pro card so fast and having a chance to compete in shows like this year. And it amazes me that you guys have that with all the things you do. You're both doctors, you have a kid, you have businesses to run, you have households to run. I mean, it's a lot of work.
Thank you. Look, I think when we were in it, we didn't realize how truly unique or special or rare what we were going for was. It was only afterwards and meeting so many people in the community and just seeing how many years people have been trying to do this. But we had just such tunnel vision. I know I went into it like this is just what's going to happen.
Well, I think you have to, because you're doing this. You knew that it was something that you'd have to really make up lost time for people that have done it for so many years. I mean, it's very hard to come into that without the experience of doing that and then go in there and win. I mean, that's amazing.
Yes, thank you so much.
So before you had become a bodybuilder, I know you had been into, you'd worked out. And so for regular people that are really trying to just learn what to do to work out, or watch what they eat, or what would you recommend as far as somebody that was trying to do that really didn't know that much on what to do?
I've always been active. Like I mentioned before, I loved the group fitness classes. It's really kept me motivated, and I would do a variety of things. But as a whole bigger picture, now I realize I didn't quite know what I was doing. I didn't, I maybe had an overall goal of weight loss or health. I would pick up cohesive programs, maybe for, post-baby weight loss or things like that. But now that I know, I'm realizing how little I knew about fitness and how to achieve those bigger goals in general. I think the biggest difference would be in the way I trained. So people have this misconception, oh my gosh, bodybuilding is so time consuming, you must be at the gym all the time. No, it's really 5 to 6 hours a week. That's it. It's just so intense and so focused when you are there. But those rest days built into your week are just as important as the days that you train. Another misconception is the amount of cardio. More on the rare side, but not totally an outlier in that I do no cardio. There, of course, I get cardiovascular exercise when I am lifting, but there's no kind of treadmill, things like that. If we have to speed something up, it's not a steady state jump on a machine. I would make a totally separate day and maybe do plyometrics or like a HIIT sequence, something that's intense and that would really fire up the metabolism in that way. But really, you're getting the metabolism boost from the muscle growth and from the intensity of the training and from the timing of the nutrition.
In other words, that's another common misperception, is that women that lift weights are going to get bulky. And I'll tell you now, I've seen your show pictures and everything like that. Jacqueline is not bulky whatsoever. She's lean, and so kind of go into that, because that's a common misperception that women are going to get bulky if they lift weights, and it's definitely not the case. That
couldn't be further from the truth. I think maybe when they see pictures of different divisions, that is, it's not only not attainable naturally.
Right, that's the other thing.
I mean, you have to take a lot of things to get the look I think some women are afraid of. And so the bikini competitors with a lot of the lean muscle, I think they underestimate how much we lift and how hard it takes just to get that, and then even in the photos, if you think that my shoulders are muscular, I have pumped up so much just to get them that big and not stringy. And when I do lift, I am not lifting for volume unless it's, during the final weeks before a show and we're just kind of trying to get blood in the muscle or kind of keep it of the size. We are really going until failure with each muscle, each body part, each focused day. So that is going to look heavy, 8 to 12 reps until the muscle fails in your sets.
So as somebody that's not doing a competition, like just somebody that's trying to work out, what kind of rep ranges would you recommend to women, and what kind of weight would you recommend if they were going to the gym to do some weightlifting?
Definitely dividing your lifting sessions, depending on how much by body parts, lower body or upper body, or if you want to get more specific, we could do like glutes and hamstrings on one of the leg days, and then maybe quads on another leg day. That all of your energy and muscle building can really go to those muscle groups, and you can focus on the larger and smaller muscles in those muscle groups. And then, I think the 8 to 12 rep range, 4 to 5 sets, lifting as much as possible. When you think you can't go more, you can, do a warm up set or two, really get the movement down, and you are going as hard as you can.
I'm glad you said that, because I think, again, that's a common misperception that a lot of women think if you are going really heavy, you're going to cause too much muscle growth. And I think it's true for both men and women, because there's guys, I've lifted heavy for years and I never got like Arnold Schwarzenegger big, nor did I want to, but I was lifting some heavy weights. I know Ben, used to be a pro athlete. He was lifting heavy weights before he did bodybuilding. So he was big, but he was never like enormous. So I think that's where people miss the boat, is that they think that as soon as you start lifting weights, because it takes a lot of time. I mean, think about it. You've been doing this now for 2 years very seriously, and you're still not bulky, and you never will be, because of the way you're training. You're looking for that lean muscle.
No, it takes consistency, and it takes years. And that's the goal of this year, is really, if I want to get on that pro stage and be really competitive, I had to grow like I did last year, but you have to keep up and you have to grow. And the only thing that's going to do that is consistency. We don't even take like Christmas off. Like, it has to happen. And as far as, each body part, if you're dividing them up into, structuring your weeks, let's say you did hamstrings, then they get a whole week to rest. And also going for strength is a great way for women, because it can get off to a slow start, right? And you psych yourself out.
Yeah.
It's so hard. The scale's not moving. A lot of times mine is so delayed, like nothing will happen for 4 weeks. And then all of a sudden I'll wake up one day and it's totally different. So to distract yourself during that time is to really focus on keeping track of how much you're lifting and setting those mini goals for the session, and seeing your strength increase over the weeks is pretty amazing.
So, like, for somebody doing this, what's a realistic timeline where, they're trying to get ready to go to like on a beach vacation or something like that? What's a realistic timeline that people should kind of expect if they're just trying to get in shape, not to be a bodybuilder, just kind of getting back in shape so that they see some more toning and feel better about, wearing a bikini or something on the beach?
Oh, they're not going to like my answer. If you don't have the foundation and you jump right into focusing on weight loss, you can't really effectively build muscle and then lose the fat at the same time. I mean, you can, but it's tricky. You really want to have it in 2 phases. So I think the building phase, 20 weeks, is kind of a good rough estimate, and then cutting 12 to 15 weeks.
Yeah.
Because the purpose of the building phase is not just to grow your muscles. You are completely resetting your metabolism, because during those lifting sessions, you are requiring more calories, clean calories, those days. You are creating a furnace, not just because your set metabolism goes up to that higher caloric value, but then you have the muscles that actually do need that energy.
Yeah.
Then when it comes time to cut or time to diet, lose fat, whatnot, you're not even going to feel it at first. Because if my resting metabolism is, 3,000 to 4,000 calories, And then I go into a dieting phase and I'm eating 2,500 calories. That's still a good amount of food, but
It's a lot.
But I'm going to be dropping about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds a week quickly. And that's not adding any more exercise. That is just because you created a metabolism that is just on fire. That's why post-show, if you like are off of it, you're like, I'm not that hungry, you might lose too much because it just falls off.
You know, think about that. You're eating 2,500 calories and you're in a cutting phase.
Right.
So people think, you know, that would be too much. But really, when you've ramped your metabolism up, you have enough muscle to accommodate for that. That's not unreasonable to eat that amount and still lose weight. So that's where I think people, you know, we do some weight loss programs in our office where they cut some calories for a while, but that's not a permanent thing. You know, that's not something you want to do for a long period of time. It's something that you cycle through so that you can, you know, kind of lose the weight you wanted to, but then you want to cycle in some more caloric intake that's higher because you do have to build muscle at some point to also maintain that metabolism.
That's kind of the difficult part of the off season is to sometimes eat when you're not hungry. But you really want to keep maybe like a 300 calorie surplus. And that's enough where you won't rapidly gain weight, but you're going to boost your metabolism. And the way I do it is think about food volume and kind of what makes you full. So if my meals always incorporate something that's low volume but high calories, like let's say honey, okay?
Right.
So that's in the breakfast, okay? And then maybe 2 tablespoons of oil with another meal or something. When I'm cutting, I'm not taking out like 5 ounces of sweet potato. I'm taking out a tablespoon of oil or I'm taking out the honey. Do that every meal. Boom, 1,000 calories gone, but yet my stomach is still the same size volume-wise. I'm not feeling that hunger.
That's good advice. As somebody that their husband's a chiropractor, how has that helped you in your training and things like that? And have you dealt with any injuries along the way?
Of course. I'm 41. I have a lot of injuries. So, yeah, of course, you know, regular adjustments and injury, not just prevention. You know, he's great with the recommendations of the braces and the orthotics, things like that. And then I do a ton of compression and just a lot of supplemental therapies with that to promote healing and recovery on those kind of things. And thank goodness nothing completely major, but the myofascial release, just all those things, because I would put that in that third pillar with the stress mitigation. It's all about recovery. You know, it's sleep and it's allowing your injuries and your muscles and your brains to recover and your brain to recover.
Do you think without having constant access to that you may not have gone as well with the training as you wanted to? Do you think that's been a big part of it?
I think it would have been more expensive.
Yeah, that too.
You know, because I was in Wisconsin for a bit and I was paying to do the compression and then, oh no, we got it at home. Things like that. Or I might have had to sit with an injury or it'd be a little bit uncomfortable until I could get into an appointment. I think that would make a difference. Yeah. But as you know, chiropractic can help with not just injury prevention, muscle soreness, but anything from digestion, sleep, and things like that. Yeah,
I think that's something that people don't always realize is that not only does it help with the injuries, but you sleep better, you have more energy, better digestion, better elimination, and that really makes your body function better, which will make you peak at a higher level as an athlete as well.
For sure.
So as far as this journey that you've taken, what would you say are some of the personal benefits that you've received by doing this, where health-wise, posture-wise, wellness-wise, just kind of overall, what have you noticed in the last couple of years?
Well, I mentioned how much I learned about fitness and training in general, and what a role metabolism plays in it. But also my knowledge about nutrition, is something that I will always carry with me no matter what phase of my life I'm in. Also, in terms of looking at fitness and health, not being so focused on the scale and more on internal health and how I feel and energy, things like that. And then something we didn't mention was the posing element of
that's a big aspect of it too.
This plays into it when we can say, we hear, okay, throw away your scale. Don't go, that's just one measurement is body weight. But what we're doing as bodybuilding athletes is it's all about proportions and ratios. So I might weigh a lot more than I did last year. And yes, I put on some muscle and maybe a little bit more fat too. But if my shoulder to waist to hip ratio creates the illusion, I'm a lot thinner. So if I'm kind of creating that by strengthening my shoulders, it's going to make my waist look smaller, things like that. So just looking at different things other than the typical or whatnot and going by proportions, because that's what the judges look for is balance. It isn't the size on your swimsuit. It's just the whole visual appeal of it.
The ratios do matter the most, and having that look is what's going to score higher on those contests and that. And just in general, if you're working on those different aspects, you'll create that body image that you're looking for by getting the proper proportions. And the weight doesn't always mean that you're at that point. It's more about what your body looks like with muscle-wise.
And in posing, we're practicing different postures and in proper form when we lift. So chiropractic definitely helps with, keeping the postures and the posing and the core tight and the shoulders back and things of that nature.
Absolutely. So, Jacqueline, I really appreciate you being on the show today. And I'm so happy that I got to talk to you and Ben the last couple of weeks here. And, Ben and I have gone back a long way going to school together. And I really admired him, what he's done, and I admire that you have done it with him. And, really was your idea that got him into this. And I think it's amazing you both did it together. And I think that it's just cool to see two people with such strong goals go after something and achieve it and not let anything stand in their way. So I just want to commend you on that.
Thank you. Thank you. Each time we said we were never doing the same show again, but here we are. April 15th, 16th.
Yeah. So you're about a month out now. So I know people may want to follow you and see kind of your progress. How can people follow you on social media and everything?
On Instagram, you can follow me at Dr. _Jacqueline, JACQUELINE _Duke _IFBB, International Federation of Bodybuilding. I'm also on Facebook, but you can probably direct message me.
Well, again, thank you for being on the show, and we'll do something again in the future because I want to keep up with you and Ben's progress here over this next show, and also how you guys moved to Florida I think you said May, right?
End of May, yep.
So I'm excited to follow you guys. So we'll definitely figure out a time to get you both back on the show. And I wish you so much luck next month. And I know that you guys are going to kill it. You put in the time, and I know you guys have that strong effort that you're together. And I know that you're going to do really well.
Thank you so much for having me on.
So one of the main takeaways from talking with Dr. Duke here is just the overall benefit that she's had by going into this kind of lifestyle. She mentioned about how emotionally, physically, stress-wise, things have just improved in her life that she didn't even expect. And she's just happy that she got into it for those kind of reasons. Now, obviously, not everybody's going to be a bodybuilder, but just getting back into health is really going to put you on the right track to a healthier and happier life. I just go back a couple of years ago when I was about to turn 40, and I really made the decision to get back into working out, getting into golf, and really taking charge of my health because I wanted to make sure that I was there for my kids, being a better example for my patients and my family. And I really wanted to just get healthier in general because I knew that I had slacked on some things while I had young kids, and the time came that I needed to make the decision. And people say I don't have the time. Well, it's really about making the time. So I really made it a priority to make the time to do the workouts, make the time to watch what I was eating and meal prep. And obviously I'm not going to be a bodybuilder, but I do enjoy working out and I do play sports still. And I do have to do a lot of physical work as being a chiropractor. So I need to get adjusted just as much as everybody else to make sure that I can maintain that ability. So is my point, you need to become a bodybuilder? No. That's definitely a lifestyle that's not for everybody, and it's for the rare people that really can commit that kind of time and money and kind of workouts that'll get you to that point. But the point is, how can you take what Jacqueline said and did into your own life and see what you can improve on, whether it's golf, whether it's just getting back out to ride your bike outside and play with your kids, or maybe you wanted to do a 5K or a marathon and you've been kind of putting it off. What are the things that you've been holding back from, and is your health holding you back from doing that? The important thing is to make that decision where you can move forward in your life, get healthier again, and start enjoying the things that maybe you haven't been doing for a while. And on top of that, get the health benefits that you really need to live that long and healthy, prosperous life that you're looking for. And what am I doing about it? What am I doing to help you get to the health point that you want to be at? Well, we have lipolaser. I have chirothin. I do chiropractic here. We have disc decompression. I do orthotics. We do so many things in the office here. We have a K-laser as far as dealing with joint injuries. Anything that is related to health, basically that's not surgery, is something I can do in this office for you. So if these are the things that are holding you back, I have the tools in the toolbox to help you get to where you want to be. And the important thing is just taking that first step. First is identifying exactly what's wrong. That's the most important thing. Until we know what's wrong and what direction you want to go in, then we can truly figure out a game plan for you. So the first step for you is really just to contact my office. DM me on Facebook, on Instagram, at Ideal Health and Wellness Center, or give me a call. Contact me at 615-567-6683. Tell me what's going on, and I'll tell you what I think. And we'll get you in for an appointment and figure out what's going on. That's the most important step, is just finding out what's going on, and then we can figure out how to fix it. Remember, the coach's door is always open. This is Coach Frank. I'm sporting good posture. How about you?
The Sporting Good Posture Podcast is a broadcast wellness production powered by Ideal Health Wellness Center. All content copyright 2021. All rights reserved. Executive producer Frank Sardella. Coach Frank appears courtesy of Ideal Health Wellness Center in Franklin. For more information, visit sportinggoodposture.com and follow Coach on Instagram at sportinggoodposture.
Actually, wait a minute. If you were on Shark Tank, you got Mr. Wonderful, you'd be Mr. Fabulous.
Yeah. I'm writing this down. This is good stuff.
Okay, man. All right, go for it. Let's see what you got.